Hey everybody, how's it going? Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be talking about pennies from the 1930s, so 1930 to 1939, and they're wheat pennies, but some of them have errors and varieties that you can cherry pick, and they'll be worth a lot more than their normal value, and it could be way more. So it's definitely good to know to look for these coins. The way I'll show it to you is I've got a presentation with clear photos of the errors that I'll explain, and then I'll also talk about the prices that you can expect and some other perspective, based off of their condition and just their rarity. So we'll get into the presentation. Excited to give you the full overview. These are all of the ones that are accepted by major grading companies, and they're definitely the more desirable ones to be looking for and on the hunt for. And our first error for today is going to be 1930, and it's a repunchment mark. It's not a super defined coin. Here it's a little bit better seen where there's a northern spread, but over here it's a lot less it doesn't contrast as much as some other repunchment marks. I'm pretty surprised at the values, honestly. For A53 is a $150 coin, Mid-State 63 is $1,000, and a Mid-State 65 red is a $3,000 coin. Now, as I always say with these errors, especially on older ones, it can be a situation where if two people really want the coin, there can be really high prices, but sometimes there will be some coins that fall through the cracks and are nowhere near that. So just something to think about. The 1930S also has a repunchment mark, and it's also not super prominent. It's right above the S, just a quick northward spread, but you can see it, it's clear on both of these coins, but they're in very nice condition, whereas I think it could be pretty challenging to find it on an AU53. But that would be a $60 coin. Mid-State 63 is $100, and Mid-State 65 red is $200. Also just interesting, the difference between the values at the upper ranges in the 30D versus the 30S. Next up, we've got the 1934 wheat penny double die obverse, and this is a crazy spread. So it's challenging to see on this one, but you can see the tip of a 3. It's a lot easier to see over here, where there's the bottom of the 3 and then a little bit of the 4, just super clear, but it's well below. It's not like a bar or a split serifs. This is far below the main part of the, where the date is. XF45 coins here are $400, Mint-State 63 are $750, and Mint-State 65 red is a $2,000 coin, so significant value, but there's just a totally different axis that we're playing on here, and I think a lot of people don't know about it. So if you ever see, with a lot of these coins, you're not going to find them just kind of raw. It'll be a lot easier to find them already in slabs, already graded, but somebody didn't attribute them. 1934D has a double die obverse where there's extreme extra thickness on 1934, the lettering there, as well as Liberty. I mean, this is just kind of wild in terms of how much thickness there is. It's not like a super split serif type of deal, but they're just the thickness present on all of the lettering is huge. And these are not super expensive coins. A53 is a $75 fine. Mid-State 63 is $175, and then 65 brown and red, $300 versus $900. So big difference there. And that's also a trend to note, that the red ones are a lot more expensive than the brown, but just another one to be checking for. There's a lot of repunchment marks here. This one is a little clearer, where there's a D kind of protruding. There's a serif kind of on the edge, but there's also a north-south spread. There's one over here where it's higher and lower. So just a lot of different repunchment marks to be looking out for, and these are also pretty expensive. I think the Mint-State 67 red one was also just because of the condition, and less so because the repunching is that rare, but A53 coins here are listed at $100, so there is, a solid floor. 1935 has a kind of more easily seen double die obverse. You can see it especially in the 9 here, doubling, strong doubling, in fact, in the 3 as well. The 5 is a little more challenging to see, and then in Liberty you can see how there's like two serifs or bottom corners. There's a notching, really, is what I think it should be called. AU53 is a $60 coin, Mint-State 63 is $125, and then Mint-State 65 is about $500. So this is a good one to check for, this is probably my favorite because I've personally found it, the 1936 double die obverse, and it's clear XF45. I found one, I got mine graded, it was I think VF35, but it's $150. So there is a good floor, but then that really ramps up drastically in mint state condition, 1,500 to 8,000, 45,000 for mint state 67. So that's some serious money. And this one, I think it's easiest to see in the date, but the lettering also up here, there's going to be that notching in the we, significant extra bars, same in the Liberty, just doubled all around. But I think the 3, the 6, the 9, especially that double, end parts of the 9, that's where it's seen best, I think. After that, we've got a 1938D wheat penny repunch mint mark. After this, we'll have 2 more, but the repunch mint mark is going to be seen to the west, kind of sticking out in the back there, and it's an AU50 $75 coin, mint state 63, $120, mint state 65, $200. This one, again, it's not crazy, but there's definitely a floor there. People like spending money on the repunishment marks, especially on the cents, and especially the ones, all of these coins that I'm discussing, there's probably more errors that are out there, but these are the ones that are listed by PCGS. They're attributable. There's more of them out there, but people pay up when you can put it in a holder. It's, I think, a lot to do with set registry collection and also feeling like you have a complete collection of the coins if you can get all of these varieties. So that's where a lot of this plays in. The 1938, there's also multiple repunishment marks here. This one really clear above. I think that's a great looking coin, and I'm surprised that this one isn't more expensive. I think over here it seems like it's more to the east-west. AU53 is a $20 coin. Mint state 63 is a $30 coin. Mint state 65 red is $50. Mint state 67 red is $250. But this one, just the level of clarity on it surprises me that it's not a more expensive coin. Maybe it's pretty common. And then finally, we're going to have the 1939 double die obverse. I actually didn't know about this coin before this video. I think the best place to look for it is going to be the T in Liberty, but you can see notching all along the lower parts of the lettering, especially as you move towards the end of Liberty. It looks like there's also, I can't tell if that's the doubling right there. That seems pretty severe if it is, but protruding above the 9, but I think it could be because the 1 here also kind of has that same upward orientation, though it appears a little bit smaller, but definitely we can see it in the Liberty. AU53 is a $75 coin, mint state 63 is $150, and mint state 65 red is $300, going to range up beyond that, obviously. But that concludes it. There's a lot of errors here, and there's more from the teens, the 20s, and after this, to be totally honest, I don't know when they'll release, but I'm going to go film the 40s. There's a lot of errors all throughout the Wheat Penny series, and it's a really cool one to look for, cherry pick, and collect.
Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe for more content, and get in touch with me on my website, treasuretownYT.com, Facebook, TreasureTown, Instagram @TreasureTownYT, or Twitter @TreasureTown_YT, and I'll look forward to seeing you on some of my future vids.